Traveling through the Marvel Universe, with a magical box that allows you to observe and travel across all worlds, Jiang Li embarked on the path of enjoying himself in the heavens and never returning. In the world of Hokage, as soon as Otokuni Kaguya was resurrected, he looked at Heijue calling Jiang Li's father with a bewildered expression and said, "Sun God. Goddess of the moon. Husband. How come I don't know about my body? Do Yuki and Yumura also believe in me?" In the world of comprehensive martial arts, Zhang Sanfeng paid respects to the Immortal Master and wielded his true martial arts sword to once again wield his armor and sway the demon. You practice martial arts, the old Taoist cultivates immortals. What are you fighting against the old Taoist with? In the world of giants, as Mikasa was about to be trampled to death, a giant hand suddenly reached out from the clouds and slapped the giant away. The world of god killers refers to the strongest demon king, who kills gods, the national teacher relied on by the first emperor of the Qin Dynasty, the faith of the evil world's Aogu, and the only god in the world of pirates. During the process of eating melons, Jiang Li gained a lot of identities and felt a little confused. There can be a lot of identities, what do women say? This book is also known as The Boundaries of the Heavens in the Box. Observing from the Hokage Field, I peek into the boundaries in Marvel World, and Top Joy Man in the Heavens, Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Man in Marvel, Peering the Shadow of Fire, New Book Seeks. You are listening at novelfull.audio. White Eagle Country, New York, April 15, 2009. 20, Ingram Street, Queens is a villa. In the living room on the third floor of the villa, a young man with a picturesque appearance, a face like a crown of jade, a high nose bridge, and deep-eyed eyes was doing push-ups with bare arms. Sweat beads as big as beans were dripping onto the floor, and his breathing gradually became rapid. "Hey, Mr. Jiang Li, your takeout has arrived. Do you need me to help you pick it up?" A little boy's head suddenly appeared at the corner of the stairs, with a shrewd smile on his face. This little boy is about 8 or 9 years old, with a head of brown hair and sapphire-like eyes. "Could you please, Peter?" "As usual, you'll receive half of the pizza," Jiang Li said without looking back. "Cool." Little Peter cheered and immediately took out a bag containing a large pizza from behind, touching his stomach and saying, "Mr. Jiang Li, can I start first?" It is obvious that Peter is a little devil and has long guessed what Jiang Li will do. "Sure." Jiang Li silently counted in his heart and reminded with a smile, "But you're not afraid to eat too much. If you can't finish dinner, will you be beaten up by Sister May?" "Sir, today is Saturday. When Aunt May comes home, I said you invited me to dinner, and she won't be angry." Peter had already made an excuse. "Aunt May is not usually tired from work, and she will be very busy on Saturdays. If she can come home without cooking dinner, she will only feel happy." "You're such a clever little ghost," Jiang Li smiled as he stood up and took the towel placed aside to wipe off his sweat. His 8-pack abs and strong chest muscles were very noticeable. This is the result of his 3 months of hard work and training after crossing into this world. However, even if these achievements are super doubled, they are far from the benefits that the little boy in front of him gained after being bitten by a spider in high school. The rich rely on technology, while the poor rely on mutation. And he, the traveler, relies on cheating. Looking down at the transparent cube box hanging on the necklace on his chest, Jiang Li's eyes flashed with a hint of anticipation. "Let's eat together." Jiang Li took a few steps forward and sat cross-legged across from Peter, sharing the pizza equally with him. The Fat House happy water given by the merchant belongs to little Peter, while he himself drinks it for free. After finishing all the pizza, both of them let out a satisfied burp and smiled at each other. "Peter." A beautiful woman's voice came from downstairs. "Aunt May is back." Peter immediately stood up and ran towards the stairs without looking back. "Mr. Jiang Li, don't reveal anything. The little one quickly disappeared at the corner of the corridor. Jiang Li smiled and tidied up the mess, then walked into the bedroom with the door locked. He first walked into the bathroom to take a bath, washed away the fatigue of the day, and then returned to the bed wearing underwear, holding up the transparent cube to watch. When he is focused, he can notice a progress bar that only he can see, which is infinitely close to full value. I don't know what exactly this is. If it's too useless, or just a tool, I really have to fight my life. Jiang Li's thoughts drifted. At the age of 19, he suffered from a car accident and his parents passed away, leaving him alone to survive. He was also affected and did not perform well in the college entrance examination. In the end, he enrolled in a directing department at a second-rate university. After graduation, I was idle for a few years, but later seized the opportunity to enter the short video market and barely followed others to make a little money. When interviewing female actors for a new short drama in a hotel, my acting skills, I don't know how to cross the line. At first, he thought he was reborn, but when he was 19 years old and just got into a car accident, he woke up in a hospital bed. As a reborn individual, he plans to purchase stocks and Bitcoin to achieve financial freedom and embark on a life of various goddesses like clothes, just like the protagonist in the Divine Heroes. As a result, when he opened his phone, he saw news that Tony Stark, the chairman of Stark Industries, had been hit by a terrorist attack and had disappeared. So he is not simply reborn, but a time traveler. After some investigation, he confirmed that he had traveled to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, also known as MCU, but was unsure if it was a sacred timeline. This is a world where ordinary people have the opportunity to attribute their great power to themselves. Jiang Li is not like Yi Gonghao, and his heart is extremely excited, feeling that he finally doesn't have to live a dull and ordinary life. He first called the system, then called the cheat, but there was no movement for a long time. In the end, he only found a transparent cube on his neck that was not known for its purpose but could only be seen by himself and could not be removed. There was a progress bar on the cube, and he carefully observed it for a week and found that the progress was only advancing by 1,000th. When he had accumulated all his savings for 200 years, his body would have cooled completely. Without a system, cheats are unreliable, he can only rely on himself. As an ordinary person, the relatively simple way to gain extraordinary power in the MCU is to find a Spider-Man spider to bite oneself, and then find an opportunity to wear a Venom war suit, or go get an Ant-Man helmet, or desperately establish a good relationship with Iron Man and learn war machines to get armor. A more dangerous way is to try becoming a Hulk or hating someone, as well as accepting genetic modification, joining certain organizations, and hiring Koichi as a teacher, purely risking one's life. After careful consideration, Jiang Li decided to go from easy to difficult and tried all the plans together. Then, he spent money to sign up for study at Eagle Sauce and came to New York as an international student. Fortunately, he also applied to Peter's house as a boarding family. After checking in, he was pleasantly surprised to find that the progress bar of the transparent cube had skyrocketed, increasing by over 1% every day. He speculated that this was related to his future encounter with Spider-Man, and the progress bar was highly likely to be luck, with Peter undoubtedly being the protagonist of luck. Suddenly, Jiang Li felt a heat in her chest. He lowered his head and saw the transparent cube blooming with dazzling light, floating up. He instinctively squinted his eyes and saw the cube instantly expand to 50 centimeters in length, width, and height. Within the cube, the light quickly converged and transformed into a silent, pitch-black space, with only two planets suspended, one relatively small rotating around the larger one. Jiang Li instinctively felt that this was the Earth and the Moon, but before he could observe carefully, he saw that the perspective began to enlarge and the picture began to change. The Moon quickly disappeared, and the Earth, with an atmosphere, became clearer and clearer. After passing through the atmosphere, a corner of the blue planet appears, making the birds that I view a bit familiar. The perspective continues to zoom in, and the final image falls over a village, with the speed of change beginning to slow down. Glancing over, Jiang Li finally stopped at the 4 huge rock avatars and the building with the word fire below, and his breath froze. This is Hokage World, Kiba Village. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. I and drug gambling are at odds, new book seeks. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Huiying Rock, Huiying Building. There are also some familiar buildings. Jiang Li can almost be certain that what he sees is my village. So this cube, now it can be said to be a small box, containing the world of Hokage, and can one view it through the box? Can I use this to converse with people from the Fire Shadow world, gain knowledge and cultivation methods from the Fire Shadow world, as well as many other things? Buzz, it seemed that he knew Jiang Li's doubts in his heart. A stream of light shot out from the transparent box and entered his mind, carrying a lot of information. He was willing to refer to it as the user manual for the Sky Observation Box. The Sky Observation Box, as the name suggests, allows one to explore the heavens and all realms. Whenever a world is included, as the owner, he can select a target as the observation object. This observation object is his channel to understand that world and obtain items in that world. There will be a level of trust between this observation subject and him. Level 1, he can trade with observation objects. Level 2, he can enter the world of the observation object. If he dies in the observation world, he will not actually fall, but he will lose his observation qualification in this world. Level 3, synchronously extract the talents, abilities, and strength of the observed object. The observer is unable to synchronize with the host's acquisition, and the host is unable to synchronize with the delivery. Level 4, it can directly influence the observation world based on the status, strength, influence, and influence of the observation object in the observation world. Level 5 or above, it will only be activated when the observed world reaches a certain number. When a person who observes the world has a level of trust in them reaches 2, the Sky Observation Box will continue to absorb Qi and, to a certain extent, will locate the coordinates of the new world, allowing them to select another observation object. In addition, as an observer, he can intervene in the directly observed part of the world outside the observation box, including but not limited to throwing in a small stone, but for that world it is a meteorite, and throwing in a grain of rice. In the observation world it can be as high as a person. Interesting, this observation box is so interesting. Jiang Li's eyes became hot. Observing the world is not something he can choose from, but the objects he observes can and are crucial. A suitable observation object will affect the various benefits I receive and open up a new world of observation. Priority should be given to those who have a higher level of trust, followed by those who possess innate talent and character, and finally, those who possess current strength, status, and influence. With good natural talent and character, under my guidance, the rest will eventually come. During his contemplation, Jiang Li noticed that the perspective inside the observation box of the heavens no longer changed. In front of him was the entire Huiying building, along with some surrounding buildings and the ground. After each positioning of a new world, the last stop of the Zhutian observation box will be the place where the world's energy converges the most, and in the world of Hokage, it is naturally the wooden leaf. He must select an observation object within a certain area of this final stop before he can observe the world from the perspective of the observation object. I don't know which time point it is now. If it's a storyline, there are many people to choose from, and the best choice is undoubtedly Naruto. He has high talent, future achievements, and status, but building trust can be a bit troublesome. After thinking for a long time under his chin, Jiang Li decided to first determine the timeline before selecting the target object. Through the largest window on the 3rd floor of the Hokage building, he saw a figure with his back facing him. It was the 3rd generation Hokage monkey flying Sun Slayer, who was controlling the crystal ball and was peeking at something. He is now opening up the maximum viewing field, and the ape flying sun / looks very miniature. Even when standing up, it is only 3.2 centimeters, which is 1.50 of its true height. When he selected the observation object, the maximum range he can currently observe is 12.5 meters above, below, east, west, north, south, and north of the observation object. If you can't see clearly, zoom in. Jiang Li gestured. Those who have played with magnifying glasses understand that the larger the perspective, the larger the image, and the better they can distinguish the details of objects. The perspective of the observation box began to zoom in, and the entire Hokage building disappeared. The entire window occupied the picture. Through the window, Jiang Li saw the monkey flying sun / looking through the crystal ball light at a foggy place, with many women lying in the hot spring, and the spring light suddenly overflowing. Jiang Li, He is truly the Seiyu old monkey and dares to do such a thing. I am incompatible with drug gambling. Jiang Li took out his phone and filmed this scene. When a suitable opportunity is found later, he will reveal the crime of the monkey flying sun /. The lonely old man is pitiful and pitiful. After looking for a while, Jiang Centrifugal made a movement to shrink the perspective and then moved the scene around. According to the information provided by the observation box, within a radius of 1 kilometer from the Huiying building, there are areas where he can search for suitable observation objects. After searching for it, he locked onto a large mansion, only because the people who came and went there had pure white eyes, indicating that this was the land of the Hinata tribe. This is Hinata sauce, right? Jiang Li's eyes were sharp, and he suddenly noticed a petite figure tiptoeing out of a certain building. He zoomed in and found that the girl had short hair, fair skin, delicate features, and agile white eyes. She looked very cute, but seemed a bit disappointed. Sister. Suddenly, a woman's coquettish voice sounded in the wilderness, startling both Hinata and Jiang Li. He is not surprised to understand Japanese, and the observation box comes with a language translation function for the heavens. Narrowing his perspective, he saw a 7 or 8-year-old girl wearing a bathrobe. Fireworks. Hinata breathed a clear sigh of relief. Sister, are you looking for food again? Hua leaned in front of Hinata, with a slightly determined expression of mockery on his face. No, it's not. Hinata's mouth was stiff and her pretty face blushed slightly. Gulu Hinata's belly makes a timely sound. Scratch. Her whole face turned red and her body began to wobble. Ha, Jiang Li laughed directly. It seems that the rumor is true that Hinata faints when she is shy because as the king of big stomachs, she often doesn't have enough to eat, leading to severe hypoglycemia and insufficient blood supply to the brain when she is emotionally agitated. Later on, even though I had enough to eat, I had to support my career, so I was still prone to dizziness. Sister, what are you pretending to be with me? Fireworks approached Hinata and took out a string of meatballs, shaking them. The leftover food from the kitchen has been sent to the orphanage. If you call me good sister, you can give this string of meatballs to sister. Good sister. Hinata's voice was like a mosquito or fly. Although I didn't hear it very clearly, let's give it to my sister. Who makes me a good sister? Hua showed a mischievous side in front of Hinata, who took a few bites and rubbed his stomach with an expression of dissatisfaction. Hua looked at her like this and joked, if there were really immortals in this world, there would definitely be endless food for sister to wish for. Fireworks. Hinata felt shy for a moment. Jiang Li watched this scene and found it quite interesting. Following closely, a spiritual light flashed through his mind. Immortals. Perhaps that's possible. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. Food from the sky, Hinata worships me as a deity. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the world of Hokage, there are temples, shrines, and other places where there are beliefs and cultures such as cults of evil gods, as well as beliefs about immortals and gods. If the observation object is selected as Chutian, Jiang Li comes up with an excellent idea that can quickly increase mutual trust levels. But he is not sure if choosing Hinata is appropriate, and now what is the plot timeline for Hokage? Okay, I won't say it anymore. After playing and laughing with Hinata for a while, Huohua covered his mouth and said seriously, "Sister, I heard from my father that you want to register for the Chinese ninja exam." Hinata nodded earnestly. Register for the Zhongren exam. It turned out to be this time point. Jiang Li's eyes lit up and he made a decision in his heart. There is still time for development, so he needs to choose Hinata as the observation object. The best ones are naturally Naruto and Sasuke, but their trust is not easy to improve. And Hinata has the bloodline of white eyes, which can be considered to be the most noble bloodline in the world of Hokage to some extent. Chakra, various blood succession boundaries, blood succession nets, reincarnation eyes, and so on, are all derived from the divine tree fruit planted by the Big Barrel Wood tribe, which is the 10 Tails. White Eye is the blood inheritance power possessed by the Otokuni clan itself. Although the Hinata clan is a collateral member of the bloodline degeneration, even White Eye needs to be tempered before it can be used, its essence will not change. And the White Eye can evolve like the Sharingan, to a certain extent, even awakening various special abilities like the Kaleidoscope Sharingan, and even evolving into a reincarnation eye that is not inferior to the reincarnation eye. Although Hinata appears to be mediocre in talent, her white eyes are extremely pure, and she is known as the White-Eyed Princess by the Otokuni people and many Otokuni spirits, and has been chosen as her wedding partner. The white eye of Hinata fireworks is also good, and after being transplanted by the Otokushi people, it quickly evolved into a reincarnation eye. If he personally guides and cultivates it, the maximum growth limit of Hinata is actually extremely high. Thinking of this, Jiang Li flipped over and walked to the nearby storage cabinet. He took out a bag of low-fat ready-to-eat chicken breast meat that was paired with fitness food, took it out, and placed it on a nearby plate before throwing it into the sky observation box. Bang! A dinner plate larger than a person was filled with a chicken breast larger than a person and fell from the sky. Fireworks. Hinata. Is it a hallucination to see such outrageous plates and meat falling from the sky? White eyes, open up. Illusion, solve. Hinata stood in front of the fireworks for the first time, with a one-handed seal that opened her eyes, while attempting to dispel her illusion. No matter what she did, the plate of chicken breasts, which were even bigger than her, did not disappear. Sister, it seems to be true. Fireworks took a deep breath and smelled a strong aroma of cumin. Really? Hinata expressed disbelief. She's not stupid, how could there be a huge plate of chicken breasts falling from the sky in this world? Illusion, absolutely illusion. Suddenly, a voice rang in my ear. Hinata. Who? Hinata looked around cautiously. Lift your head, Jiang Li said. Hinata looked up and saw a huge light ball suddenly appearing in mid-air 10 meters away. The light sphere is naturally Jiang Li, and it is one of the visual manifestations that he can choose when communicating with the observation object. I am the god of the Hinata clan, the sun god. Your white eyes are extremely pure and have the qualification to converse with me. The sun god, the god of the Hinata clan. Hinata instinctively believed in it. Hinata means, facing the sun, and her name Hinata means, a place full of sunshine. How do you prove it? Hinata remained vigilant. Sister, who are you talking to? Fireworks tugged at Hinata's clothes in confusion. Hinata was taken aback and pointed to the sky, wondering, can't you see that glow? I see. Fireworks nodded naturally. So. As Hinata was about to say something, he heard the fireworks continue, how could it be impossible to see such a big moon? Hinata. Jiang Li suppressed his smile and said, your sister's white eyes are not pure enough, and she is not qualified to see my vision. Hinata suddenly realized and said again, you haven't said how to prove it yet. Proof. Jiang Li said, is the food given to you not proof? It could be an illusion, Hinata said cautiously. What about this? Jiang Li was already prepared and threw out a marble that little Peter had collected. Boom! 2 tall marbles fell from the sky, causing the earth to shake. Hinata and Hua looked at the huge glass ball in close proximity and instinctively swallowed saliva. I want to kill you in just one thought. Do you think I need to deceive you? Jiang Li asked. Hinata immediately believed. Give her food, create things out of thin air, and kill her with one thought. This must be a means only possessed by gods. Her delicate body trembled slightly and she said, what do you need me for? Worship me, said Jiang Li. To worship you. Hinata was puzzled. I have been sleeping for thousands of years, and when I woke up, I found that the white eyes and blood of the Hinata clan had deteriorated severely, and no one was qualified to see me anymore. The reason for this was due to the bird imprint in the cage, which restricted the development of the Hinata clan. Jiang Li said. Bird imprint in the cage. As the daughter of the clan chief, Hinata naturally had some understanding of this. It was precisely because she did not want fireworks to be planted as birds in a cage that she was defeated in previous battles. This is a way for the Hinata clan to coexist in order to inherit the bloodline and not be taken away by outsiders. Therefore, the family is divided into ancestral and branch families, with only one heir to the ancestral family and the rest being separated. According to this sun god, does the white eye deteriorate due to the presence of birds in the cage. I have been waiting for you, finally waiting for you. Jiang Li continued, you are qualified to become my witch and communicate with me from now on, understanding my divine edict to the people of the Hinata tribe and even the entire ninja realm. Witch. Hinata was startled. Witches, also known as divine sons, are the spokespersons of gods in the human world, who receive the support of gods, convey their will, and serve everything throughout their lives. This is an extremely honorable thing, but can I do it myself? The glory of the Hinata clan will reappear in your hands, Jiang Li continued. With Hinata's personality, he will definitely doubt himself. He wouldn't give her this opportunity. The glory of the Hinata clan. Hinata didn't know what to say for a moment. Sister, what's wrong with you? Fireworks pulled Hinata's hand again. Hinata turned his head to carefully examine his younger sister, and his gaze became firm as he thought of the fate of Hinata's separation. If I become the witch of the sun god, I can guide the Hinata clan to become stronger and regain glory. Can some things be changed? Lord Sun God, I am willing to be a witch. Hinata knelt down and cut off the railway with his nails. May I ask what I need to do? Watching the trust level rise to 2 levels, Jiang Li's lips slightly curled and he continued, don't worry, when your father comes over, you will serve as my spokesperson and deliver the divine edict to him. He will support you then. You will surely become my witch. All of you will belong to me. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Witch Hinata, Opening White Eyes, New Book. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hinata felt her blood boil. Her life will become different from this moment. In silence, Hinata and some Hinata tribe members rushed to the courtyard where the kitchen was located. When they saw the even taller plate, chicken breast, and marbles, they couldn't help but stare wide-eyed. The movement caused by marbles falling from the sky is not small. There are barriers around the residents of the Hinata clan, which can isolate the perception and observation of outsiders. However, strong individuals such as Hinata naturally detect something wrong at the first time. After a few breaths, white eyes, open up. Illusion, solution. The first reaction of everyone was to fall into some kind of illusion. After some operation, they found that there was no change in the scene ahead. Hinata, fireworks, what's going on? Hinata brought his people to Hinata and fireworks side, with a wary gaze. Father, I don't know what's going on, said the fireworks with proper behavior. Suddenly, food and marbles fell down. Hinata had no choice but to look at Hinata. Although he did not believe that his disappointing daughter could provide an answer, he still carried a hint of hope. Father, this is the ability of Lord Sun God, said Yoshitaka. Hinata fireworks. Hinata family members. Hinata foot. He really can't have any expectations for this daughter. Feeling the disappointment in Hinata's eyes, Hinata couldn't help but feel a surge of courage in his heart and said, Father, I'm not lying. There really is Sun God. As she spoke, Hinata spoke out all the conversation she had just had with Jiang Li without any reservation. Hinata and others listened and felt puzzled, suspecting whether Hinata had a brain problem. They are proud of the Hinata clan, but they are not shameless enough to label themselves as chosen people. Hinata's white eyes have a high purity, but why is their performance in learning Rochuan so poor? Is the bird curse seal in the cage something that restricts the Hinata clan? I'm afraid it's just an excuse. Many members of the Hinata clan looked vaguely at the Hinata Higashi, thinking that this might be the work of the clan leader. You. Hinata frowned and wanted to say something. At this moment, Hinata seemed to hear something and his eyes lit up, saying, Father, Lord Sun God said he wants to be holy. Hinata and others were taken aback, but before they could react, they suddenly saw two fingers several meters long, wrapped in light, appear in the sky. They fell and picked up a huge marble before disappearing into the sky. Hiss. Looking at the large hole left by the disappearance of the marbles. All the members of the Hinata clan present believed Hinata's words. If that finger points at them, they will definitely be crushed to death. In front of the Sun God, they are ants that can be easily crushed. Surprisingly, everything is true. Hinata took a quick breath and said, I have seen some records in the ancient books passed down within the clan, which state that the origin of our Hinata clan is related to the 6 immortals, they are descendants of immortals, and the Kaguya clan is distant relatives of us. I always thought this was a legend, given by some ancestors. The following words were not spoken by Hinata, but all the Hinata clan members present understood. Hinata believed that their ancestors were gilding the faces of the Hinata clan, but now it seems to be a fact. Hinata, do you have any divine edicts from Lord Sun God? Hinata breathed rapidly. He didn't expect that this disappointing daughter could actually establish contact with the gods of the Hinata clan. With the supervision of gods, their Hinata clan is bound to rise and become the rightfully strongest family in the ninja world. Reshaping the glory of the sun is not a problem. The Lord God only chose me as a witch, Hinata said solemnly. The Lord God said that tomorrow noon, he will gather all the members of his tribe at the gathering point and he will descend to the temple. The shrine is a shrine, but it is grander and broader than a shrine. Hinata was shocked and said, it's not for us to build a temple, but for the gods themselves to descend. Yes, Hinata nodded. Everyone was so frightened that they couldn't speak. Creating a temple out of thin air, can human beings achieve this step? It is indeed the means of the gods. I understand. Hinata said solemnly, from now on, Hinata, you are the witch of the sun god lord. Your status is above my clan leader, and you can directly command me to do anything. On the Hokage side, I will also help you push out your ninja identity. The long-awaited opportunity for reform has finally emerged. Father. Hinata felt strange and instinctively wanted to refuse. But before she could speak, Jiang Li's voice rang in her ear. That's right. As my witch and spokesperson, you represent my face and should be above all others. Hinata held back all the words in her stomach. For the sake of fireworks and for the sake of her family, she can only apologize to Teacher Hong and the others. However, she will pray for them to crawl in front of the God of Light, which is more useful than making them teammates. You all pay respects to the witch, Hinata said to the crowd. Everyone immediately knelt down on one knee and respectfully said, I have seen the witch lord. Even if Hinata was not a witch, she should have been the young chieftain of the clan. Their future masters did not need to resist submission. Well, you all step back, Hinata said with a strong suppressed timidity. Everyone immediately retreated, and Hinata hurriedly left with fireworks. He couldn't wait to go and read the ancient books and records. Soon, only Hinata was left on site. Seeing her standing alone, Jiang Li spoke up and said, You are still hungry, can you eat the food I have given you? Hinata felt a surge of heat on her head and bit her tongue before she fainted. Gone, thank you to the deity. Hinata knelt down and saluted. Jiang Li couldn't help but burst out laughing as he looked at the level of trust he had reached. If it were someone else, he wouldn't know how much time and effort it would take to reach a level of trust. It is easy to obtain a witch by naming herself a deity and adding some miracles. In the culture of childhood, witches are absolutely devout to gods, willing to offer everything and not deceive them. I am always with you. If you want to see me or come to me for anything, you can call me by my divine name, said Jiang Li. God's name, is it the sun god? Hinata lowered his head and asked. Only. Jiang Li gave a positive response. Yes, Lord Sun God. Hinata's tone was even more respectful. She knelt on the ground for a quarter of an hour before looking up, and instinctively breathed a sigh of relief when she found that the light ball had disappeared. Then she looked at the huge plate and the chicken breast on it, still feeling a bit shy. However, thinking of her future identity, she gathered herself up and walked to the dining plate, kneeling down to eat. At the same time, Jiang Li has synchronized all the bloodlines, physical skills, abilities, knowledge, and other aspects that Hinata currently possesses. Is this chakra? Whether it's the Hinata clan or not, the amount of available Hinata is not small. Jiang Li used chakra extraction technique to extract chakra from cells, and then formed a single hand seal. White eyes, open up. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Manifestation of Miracles, the Temple of All Things, New Book Seeking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chakra converged above both cheeks under the control of Jiang Li. His veins bulging on both sides of his eyes, his pitch-black eyes instantly enlarged into a bluish-white color, and black marks appeared in the center of his pupils. The world in his eyes has changed, like 480 standard definition suddenly rising to 4K ultra-clear, capturing every detail and greatly improving dynamic vision, allowing him to see the frequency of mosquitoes flapping their wings. He can adjust his visual range according to his own thoughts, and through 2 windows, he can see the spider webs on the opposite house's wall more than 10 meters away. Lowering his head, he could penetrate the floor and see the scene below. May was taking a shower in the bathroom, and the 2 cherry blossoms made him certain that what his white eyes could see was not the black and white world, but the colors. I don't know the principle behind how color can still be seen through perspective. Isn't color coming from light? It's amazing. Jiang Li turned his head and looked further away. Now as long as he wants, he can see everything within a radius of 1 kilometer without leaving home. It's a pity not to become a gambling god with this ability. Jiang Li closed her eyes. With a level of trust of 3, he can replicate everything that Hinata currently possesses, including blood inheritance, mastered ninjutsu, and physical skills. Therefore, it is not difficult to activate white eyes, but constantly activating it is a waste of chakras. Successfully possessing extraordinary power, I need to make some changes to my plans in the future. Jiang Li stared at the progress bar of the Qi Yun that had started accumulating again on the observation box of the heavens, holding his chin to think. After a long time, he finally remembered something. He opened his computer and went online to find the number of the person in charge of a 3D printing factory, then picked up his phone and dialed it out. "Oh, bastard, call me at this time. If you don't give me a beautiful explanation, I'll stuff your head into your butt and smell how bad it really is." It took a while for the phone to be answered when a man's angry voice came from inside. Jiang Li glanced at the time and realized it was already 1 o'clock in the morning. He felt a bit embarrassed and said, "Mr. John, I want to print a model of a building. I need it before 10 o'clock tomorrow morning." "What are you joking about? Do you think I'll get up now and stay up late for you to work overtime?" John became even more angry. 30,000, Jiang Li quoted a market price 3 times. "What?" John was taken aback. "I'll get it done before 11 o'clock. I'll give you 30,000 yuan, and an extra 10,000 yuan for every hour in advance," Jiang Li said seriously. "He can rest assured that he will receive it soon and also print something else." John. "Sir, please trust me with this matter. What are the requirements for the building model you want to print?" John's tone changed instantly. "Can you give me an email and I will send you the building materials I want to print? Just reduce the proportion by 50 times. Jiang Li is preparing to have the other party 3D print out a 50-fold reduced model of the Mingtang, also known as the Wanxiang Shrine. It is a stunning masterpiece of Empress Wu Zetian, with a height of 294 feet, 98 meters, which can be seen from a distance of over 100 miles in the divine capital of Luoyang. It is considered an architectural miracle. Only by giving such a shrine out of thin air to his own witch to live in, can he demonstrate his supreme power as a sun god, make Hinata trust him more, and facilitate the expansion of the influence of the sun god in the future. 3D printing of a 100 square meter villa only takes 3 days, and a simple model of a temple building is definitely enough time in one night. It's easy to say, easy to say. John agreed decisively and provided an email address. Jiang Ji packaged and sent the information he found, and asked John to search and supplement it himself. A quick OK expression was sent from across the street. He asked for a bank card number, transferred $10,000 directly, and noted, the remaining money depends on the delivery time. Meanwhile, John called all the employees in the factory. "Come back immediately to work overtime, everyone earns 3 times their salary." That night, a certain factory was particularly busy. But all of this had nothing to do with Jiang Li. He finally gained extraordinary power and slept soundly until John's phone call at 9 o'clock. Okay, I'll come over and take a look now. As long as it satisfies me, it will be calculated at $50,000. Hanging up the phone, Jiang Li flipped over and got up. After washing up, he took a taxi to John's factory. He received a warm reception from John, who heard that he didn't have breakfast and even asked someone to buy a hot dog. Arriving at the finished product inspection room, there is a pure wooden 3D printed building that is about 2 meters high, which is exactly the temple of the universe. Not bad. Jiang Li nodded satisfied after a rough inspection. In fact, after arriving outside the factory, he found a hidden place in advance and checked it with his eyes. "Send it to this address for me." Jiang Li handed a piece of paper to John. "I'll arrange it immediately," John said. "There will often be a need in the future, and I think we can establish a long-term cooperation," Jiang Li smiled. John naturally had no choice but to offer a discount and waive transportation fees. Half an hour later, Jiang Li returned home and had the movers carry the model to the warehouse behind the house. After the person left, he picked up Chakra and moved the model to the 3rd floor alone, silently waiting. If there's a chance later, we need to get a storage device, Jiang Li thought to himself. Time passed by minute by second and quickly arrived at 11:50. The time synchronization between Hokage World and Marvel World, Jiang Li doesn't know if it's a coincidence. The residents of the Hinata clan, except for members who are performing tasks outside, all other members of the clan gather in the square behind the forest. This situation immediately caught the attention of the shadow of the fire and the root of the cluster. Hinata, is it true that Teacher Hong said you want to leave our team? Inazukaya pulled Yoshinori to find Hinata dressed in full attire, his eyes filled with confusion and anger. Behind the two of them, Shirihong was also there, and as a teacher, she was curious about why Hinata had made this decision. Yes, we can't carry out tasks together anymore, Hinata nodded apologetically. The only thing she's sorry about becoming a witch is these two companions and a teacher. Why, asked the dentist, didn't we agree to sign up for the Chinese ninja exam? Yeah, Shino, Teacher Hong, I'm sorry, Hinata took a deep breath and said solemnly, I have more important things to do in the future, which will be my lifelong mission. Last night, she experienced the feeling of overeating for the first time, which made her completely believe in the great power of the sun god. For herself, for fireworks, and for the fate of the clan, she must be a good witch. I don't understand. You wanted to ask again. Is there anything I don't understand? Suddenly, a sarcastic voice from Hinata Ningxi came from beside me. Our young lady from the clan is afraid and wants to escape. He was unaware of what had happened in the residence of the Hinata clan last night, and still had prejudice against Hinata and hatred towards the clan. Brother Ningxi, you're wrong this time. Hinata looked at Ningxi with an unprecedentedly firm gaze. This gaze surprised Ningxi very much, followed by boundless anger. Is this the arrogance of the Zong family? Hinata didn't say much to him, turned around and walked to the center of the open space, then knelt down in front of everyone and kowtowed his head, saying, Lord Sun God, your witch, please descend to the temple. Many unknowns. Which? Sun God. How did the Hinata clan fall into this trap? At this moment, everyone felt their gaze dim, and the sun in the sky seemed to be obscured by something. They instinctively looked up and saw the bottom of a tall building constantly magnifying before finally landing on the ground. Boom. People of the Hinata clan. Ape flying sun / watched through crystal ball. Hidden in the dark, Orochimaru said, interesting. P.S. The new book set sail. Please manually collect a wave. The new book period data is crucial. If you like this book, please cast some flowers, review tickets, and monthly tickets. Thank you very much. Not big enough to read, you can click on the author's pen name, and there are also 2 old books to read. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. The Power of Creation and the Fury of Thunder. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Is a tall building falling from the sky a form of spiritual communication? Even Rashomon cannot be compared, and there are no chakra fluctuations. The Hinata clan seems to have hidden many unknown and interesting things. Under the shadow, the venomous snake carrying the idea of Orochimaru had sharp eyes and secretly crawled towards the distant high-rise building. At the same time, Ape flying sun / appeared at the top of the Hokage building, looking at the 100-meter-tall building suddenly appearing behind the Hinata clan base not far away, with a very serious expression. Hinata found him early this morning, stating that Hinata would no longer be a ninja. Although he was surprised in his heart, he still agreed and silently followed the movements of the Hinata clan. Initially, in order for Hinata and Fireworks not to have to carve the imprint of a bird in a cage, Hinata joined his daughter in Law Yuriko's ninja class. This was an exchange condition in the interest cooperation between Hinata and his team. Suddenly changing his mind, something must have happened. But he didn't expect such a bizarre scene to be witnessed. Ignoring the first generation of Hokage, Mu Dun had never heard of a luxurious 100-meter tall building falling from the sky. Is it related to Hinata not being a ninja? What exactly happened within the Hinata clan? The monkey flying sun felt a bit heavy in his heart. After thinking for a moment, he called in a few secret departments and assigned a secret investigation mission, and then had someone bring some information to Tuanzang. Tuanzang, don't let me down, said Ape Flying Sun with a gloomy gaze. In my village, there are no people or things beyond his control. At the same time, cries of surprise echoed throughout the village of Mai. What is the situation with the 6 immortals up there? A building that is 4 or 5 times taller than the Hokage Tower and looks more luxurious, fell from the sky. The height of that building exceeds that of Huiying Rock. That's the land of the Hinata clan. Are all the Hinata people okay? Is this also ninjutsu? Ninjutsu. What do you think ninjas are? Gods. This is a miracle. The disturbance caused by the landing of the Wanxiang Heavenly Palace was too great, and the height of the building stood out among the chickens in Kiba village, making it difficult for the people in Kiba village to notice. Some people knelt down and shouted, "Miracles," while others rushed over out of curiosity to investigate, such as spies from other forces in the ninja realm. For all of this, the members of the Hinata clan are still unclear. Being on the scene and witnessing the whole process with their own eyes, their hearts are only shocked at this moment. Hinata knelt on the ground and looked at the tall building ahead, feeling a wave of weakness in her body until Jiang Li's voice rang in her ear. You represent my face from now on, don't be afraid. Get up and take your tribe to visit our sacrificial temple. On the first floor of the temple, everyone is allowed to enter and worship. The specific rules are determined by yourself. You select 4 maids from the Hinata clan to be responsible for receiving, managing, and overseeing matters. On the second floor of the temple, only you and those who have my permission can enter. You usually live there, and I will give you everything you need. The third floor of the temple can only be accessed with my permission. The real Wanxiang Heavenly Palace has been burned down, and the sculpture that Jiang Li asked people to build has a bit of its own design. It still has 3 levels, with a square at the bottom symbolizing the 4 seasons, a 12-sided shape at the middle level symbolizing the 12 seasons, and a round lid on top, held by the 9 dragons. The upper layer has a 20.4-sided shape, symbolizing the 20.4 solar terms. On the top layer, there is a golden pearl competing for the sun. Yes, Your Highness. Encouraged by the gods, Hinata suddenly felt full of strength. With a solemn expression on her face, she turned to everyone and said, "The sun god has given orders. Those who are recognized by this which can enter the first floor of the temple. The people of the Hinata clan, come with me." After speaking, Hinata took the lead and climbed the stairs onto the high platform, confidently entering the first floor of the temple. The people of the Hinata clan are led by Hinata and Hinata, all closely following behind. Even Hinata Ningji is no exception. Ye and Ji actually wanted to go, but were held back by Shi Rihong and said, "Hinata didn't invite us. There may be secrets from the Hinata clan there, and we can't enter casually." Ye and Ji had no choice but to give up. The former said dejectedly, "It seems that Hinata really wants to quit our team. How can we apply for the Zhongren exam, Teacher Hong?" "Don't worry, Lord Huiying will arrange this matter," Shi Rihong comforted. At the same time, the members of the Hinata clan entered the first floor of the Vientiane Shrine, witnessing what it meant to be magnificent, as well as what it meant to be a masterpiece of craftsmanship. Especially in the central position, a huge round bead could be seen on the roof when looking up. At the center of this hall, there is a huge metal frame containing a round pure gold gemstone with a beautiful pattern in the center. This is a model created by Jiang Li, referring to the massive reincarnation on the moon, for John to create. In the future, it will serve as his incarnation as the sun god, providing people with the opportunity to worship. If there is a chance in the future, he doesn't mind taking down the real guy on the moon or moving the temple to the moon, and can observe the entire ninja world through the huge reincarnation eye. The people of the Hinata clan, kneel down and kowtow, I am your god, the sun god. Jiang Li pressed the switch to make the gemstone shine, and at the same time opened his mouth to let everyone in the hall hear him speaking. Most people, such as Hinata and Hinata, immediately knelt down and kowtowed, while only a few, such as Hinata and Nishi, still wore a skeptical expression. Indeed, there is a thorn in the head. Jiang Li was not angry but happy. He took out a gun, opened his eyes and aimed at the few people still standing, then pressed the switch. This gun is an electric shock gun with an effective range of 5 meters. If placed in a box world, it can shoot things 200 meters away. Sting! Blue lightning appeared out of thin air in the main hall, and Hinata and his companions were hit before they could react. They trembled and fell to the ground. Those who blaspheme should be punished by thunder. This is the first warning, if committed again, it will be death. Jiang Li's angry voice rang out, making all members of the Hinata clan feel revered. With the power of creation and the wrath of thunder, this is indeed a true god. Everyone no longer had doubts in their hearts, but Hinata Ningxi, who was lying on the ground, asked, Lord Sun God, what do you think of the bird imprint in the cage? Some members of the ancestral family's expressions have changed, but they dare not speak up in front of the Sun God and are angry. Jiang Li's indifferent voice rang out. From today on, Hinata will be my witch and will inform you of my divine edict. If you have any questions, please inform the witch first and let her report to me. If I am willing to answer, I will let her tell you. I can directly answer the question of Rishiang Ningxi, but as an example, violators will be punished by the gods. Everyone immediately agreed, and Hinata Ningxi's eyes were filled with anticipation and longing. Jiang Li continued, the bird in the cage is a ridiculous and blasphemous thing that restricts the talent and development of the Hinata tribe. Even though the Creator has entered the Pure Land, they still deserve divine punishment. This statement caused a change in the expressions of all members of the Hinata clan. Jiang Li continued, Rochuan and Jianxue are just small paths, putting the cart before the horse. The true path of the Hinata clan is evolution. Evolution. The big snake Maru sneaking into the main hall revealed surprise. Sun God, evolution of white eyes. I really saw something amazing today. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Ninja World Scientist, $0 weapon purchase. You are listening at novelfull.audio. White eyes can evolve. Jiang Li's somewhat ethereal voice continued to ring. The Sharingan of the Uchiha clan can evolve. With each evolution, 1, 2, and 3 Sharingans can awaken new abilities. After evolving into a kaleidoscope Sharingan, one can have exclusive pupil techniques. The kaleidoscope Sharingan can continue to evolve, but you don't need to know. Strive to cultivate spiritual power, enhance Yin Dun chakra, evolve even white eyes, awaken exclusive abilities and pupil techniques. Pressure, illusion, seeing through others' fate, seeing through others' thoughts, and so on. And unlike the side effects of the evolution of writing will eyes, white eyes will only become stronger and stronger. This is the path that the Hinata clan needs to take. The bird in the cage is destroying this path. Boom. Many Hinata people only feel that their brains are blank. Originally, they silently endured, deceiving themselves and boasting to the ancestral family that they could protect the cage bird with white eyes and blood from flowing out, but they were actually digging the roots of a clan. Their wholeheartedly developed soft fist acupoint technique is a physical technique that enhances physical energy, but it is not entirely correct. Enhancing spiritual energy, Yin Dun chakra, possessing stronger white eyes, and activating exclusive pupil techniques are the true direction for their clan to become stronger. For a moment, everyone only felt the collapse of their values. On the contrary, as the clan leader, Hinata was the first to react and turn to the crowd, saying, when the day difference was still present, we mentioned the development path of strengthening the white eye. We know that with practice, our eyes can see farther, see more thoroughly, have stronger insight, and even enhance our own abilities to a certain extent, but we selectively ignore it. We have always made mistakes. The clan chief said so, while the others remained completely silent. If there were no sun god, perhaps there would still be some people who speak hard due to various selfishness. They have the potential to unleash their anger at any moment, and they cannot speak against their will, they can only acquiesce. Bang! 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 Hinata Ningxi climbed up to the stone statue and kowtowed heavily, ignoring the bleeding. His eyes were filled with enthusiasm. Lord Sun God, your people Hinata Ningxi are willing to offer everything to you. Please send me to do things for you. The negation of the bird in the cage by the Sun God, the true definition of the white eye, and the silent fire of the ancestral family give Hinata Niji a sense of pleasure in breaking free from the cage of fate. Hinata Ningxi, I see your sincerity, but your qualifications are not enough to talk to me. If you want to do something for me, all you need to do is obey Hinata's orders from now on. Hinata Niji immediately knelt down on one knee to Hinata, his gaze devout. Please give me orders to do things as you please. Other members of the Hinata tribe, upon seeing this, also expressed their loyalty to the witch and Jiang Li. Hinata couldn't help feeling a little flustered, but after seeing Hinata Niji's gaze, his heart became firm and he said, I will become a good witch and convey the divine oracle of the gods to everyone. Everyone has risen up. Everyone just stood up. At this point, Hinata's trust in Jiang Li increased to the 4th level. Based on the status, strength, influence, and influence of the observed object in the world of observation, better observation can even directly affect the observed world. I have to say that pretending to be a god, fooling around with the Dharma and applying the right medicine to the case are really awesome. Jiang Li can freely switch the subject and area of observation. The switchable subjects are all members of the Hinata clan who sincerely express their submission to Hinata. The additional area includes the residents of the Hinata clan, as well as the shops and training grounds controlled by them. That is to say, anyone who submits to Hinata belongs to the Hinata faction, and I can freely observe these people and the forces they control. If everyone in the world of Hokage were to submit to Hinata, I could observe whoever I wanted and observe wherever I wanted. However, it is only limited to observation, trading, synchronization ability, etc., and can only be related to the observation object. Jiang Li's eyes showed a hint of enlightenment, and after a moment of contemplation, he spoke up, the sun is facing the clear wind, the sun is facing the plains. You have not truly surrendered, Hinata, you and Hinata should punish them. As long as it is within the range of the observation box, he can know anyone's name, age, gender, which is more detailed than the eye of death in the death note, but cannot see the lifespan. Any individual who cannot be directly observed indicates that they are not truly surrendering to Hinata, and naturally have ulterior motives. This is a disguised loyalty check. Yes, Lord God. Hinata respectfully responded. Hinata and others are even more revered in their hearts. Even loyalty can be distinguished, truly worthy of being a deity. We were wrong. The several members of the Hinata tribe who were named immediately knelt down. Most of them are ancestral families, with only a few being separate families that treat themselves as dogs. Jiang Li did not guide Hinata in handling this matter. As a deity, one must have a strong sense of authority. He turned his gaze to a snake in the corner of the main hall and spoke in a 1.1 manner, Orochimaru, you want to explore the gods recklessly. Do you want to fall into the underworld forever? As the words fell, a thunderbolt descended from the sky, killing the venomous snake. The line of sight disappeared, and the big snake Maru, hidden somewhere in the wooden leaf, curled up his pupils and his hair stood on end. He was not surprised that the sun god could discover it, even if the other party was not a real deity, but rather pretending to be a god or claiming to be a god-like pain, but their strength was definitely strong enough to discover it normally. Knowing its true identity, the means are somewhat extraordinary. Creating things out of thin air, summoning thunder, transmitting sound through the air, and seeing through people's hearts, all these methods seem like a true god. Orochimaru extended his tongue and licked his face. Although I have created a non-corpse reincarnation to achieve alternative immortality, there are still many imperfections. Anatomically studying a god, I wonder if it can change all of this. My, you're really back right. Orochimaru's heart surged. At this moment, a look of anticipation appeared in Jiang Li's eyes. Orochimaru, don't let me down. This ninja scientist cannot resist the temptation to study a god. At that time, this god will definitely give a big gift. But now, there are other things. Jiang Li's finger moved, causing the observation box to shrink into a 5-centimeter cube and hang it around his neck again, without any further attention to the world of fire and shadow. If Hinata, the observed object, is in danger or contacted, the observation box will naturally remind him. He has more important things to do now. May, I'm going out to play for a few days, don't worry about me. I made a phone call to Sister May, and Jiang Li put on a black assault suit and took a taxi to a public restroom near the airport. Then he imprinted his hands and transformed into Loki's form, flying out of the toilet window. Chakra attached himself to his feet and flew up the eaves and walls, quickly slipping into a large weapons store. Looking at the dazzling array of weapons and ammunition, a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Undoubtedly, it is a free America. Libwa 0 yuan purchase. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Ape You Regret and Team Me Shadow. Spiritual Beast White. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The Seedshell P320 Pistol. Luger 10-22 Semi-automatic Rifle. Big Boy Rifle, and FNPL. The two Malawian Quachas grenade and flamethrower are really great. Oh, look what I found, Chetak M200 Sniper Rifle. Jiang Li walked around and admired the dazzling array of weapons in the warehouse. With a small wave of his hand, he packed them and placed them on the third floor of the Wanxiang Temple in the Fire Shadow world. This was the temporary storage method he had come up with. Among these weapons, the Chetak M200 Sniper Rifle with an effective shooting range of up to 2,000 meters surprised him greatly, making it the perfect fit for his eyes. It's all Erdi. Jiang Li stepped lightly with his feet, and with a wave of his hand, the weapon disappeared. 10 minutes later, after packing all his weapons, he came to the surveillance camera with a sarcastic smile and said, I can't help but play with your mortal weapons. After saying these words, he used his teleportation technique to leave, changed his route, turned back to the restroom, and then returned to the airport in his original state to collect his ticket with his passport. Half an hour later, he followed the broadcast instructions and boarded the plane to Italy. In the first-class cabin, he opened the celestial observation box again, and the people around him were indeed unaware. Give me a glass of Heijue happy water, thank you, Zhang Yuan gestured to the flight attendant. He no longer needs to rely on exercise to maintain an ordinary physique, he needs to make up for what was missing before. Holding his wine glass, Jiang Li resumed his observation of the world of Hokage. Hinata have already dealt with the issue of everyone's loyalty together. Hinata followed his orders and selected 4 young girls from the Hinata clan to handle miscellaneous matters on the first floor. Hinata just finished chatting with Nishihiro and took them to the jade steps in front of the temple. Hinata is in the Hokage building, having a conversation with Ape Flying Hinata. Do you say that tall building is a deity of your Hinata clan, bestowed by the sun god? Ape Flying Sun Slayer took a hard puff of smoke to calm himself down. The previous god in the realm of ninja was Hokage, the god of ninjas with the first-generation eyes of Kiba. Having the ability to change landforms, standing on par with gods like mortals. There are also legends of 6 immortals among others. Besides ninjas, he has heard of the cult of evil gods, the Whirlpool clan of death gods, and the Buddhas of major temples. But it's all limited to hearing, but the deity of the Hinata clan has directly demonstrated his great power. It's the Sun God Lord. Hinata said solemnly, starting today, our Hinata clan will try our best to reduce the acceptance of village tasks and fully promote the name and taboo of Sun God Lord. The 3rd generation of adults can make some adjustments. Tasks are the main source of income and the foundation of survival for most ninjas. So Ape Flying Sun / who holds the power to distribute tasks, holds on to all the ninjas. But the major ninja tribes are also aristocrats with surnames, and doing tasks is just icing on the cake. In reality, they still rely on their family's assets. I understand. Ape Flying Sun / didn't say anything more. During non-wartime, Hokage cannot force the ninjas in the village to perform any tasks. The Hinata clan only needs to complete the minimum number of tasks set by the village. These tasks can even be outsourced by the Hinata clan, and there are definitely ninjas who are willing to take them if they are short of money. They should also be grateful for the kindness of the Hinata clan. The outbreak of war between major ninja villages is also a major factor in the amount of tasks that each village can take on. Farewell. Hinata turned around and left. Not long after he left, an old man with a cane in his right hand walked in and said coldly, "Monkey Flying, I think we should send someone to monitor the Hinata clan. They definitely have something to do." Ape Flying Sun put down his pipe and frowned, saying, "Surveillance. Are you saying like you did to the Uchiha clan back then? Do you still want another night of extermination? Muyi can't afford such a price. You know, the death of Hinata at that time made Hinata have been complaining about the village. In fact, there are complaints about his fiery shadow. So, let the Hinata clan create the so-called gods." Shimura Tuan's Tibetan eyes lit up with a cold light. At that time, will the wooden leaves be the leaves of the fire shadow or the leaves of the sun god? It's the wood leaf of everyone in my village. Ape Fury slammed the table. Jitsuan Tuanzai's face trembled and a cold smile burst into his heart. "Fart, it's just your monkey flying sun / the wooden leaf of the monkey flying clan. But forget it, the Chinese ninja exam is about to take place, and Orochimaru will take care of you. When the time comes, who will be willing to be the one who can be a fire shadow in this my village? The matter with the Hinata clan will be resolved in time." Thinking of this, Jitsuan Tuanzang sneered and said, "Monkey Fly, you will regret it." Tuanzang. Monkey Flying Sun squinted his eyes and said, "I am the Hokage." Jitsuan Tuanzang's face turned pale as he turned and left, closing the door tightly. Ape Flying Sun / took out a puff of smoke and hid his face. "Good job," as a reward. Jiang Li asked the flight attendant for a cigar and threw it in front of Monkey Flying Sun / Don't ask him why he saw it, the question is that Hinata Higashi hasn't left the Hokage building yet, everything is within his observation and visit. Monkey Flying Sun / The sun is full and full. Jiang Li no longer managed Jitsuan Tuanzang, but instead went to find Hinata Higashi. Upon hearing this quaint and melodious voice, Hinata almost instinctively knelt down. "Lord Sun God." Hinata dared not set up a channel. "Well, after bathing in divine light, your white-eye purity has just increased enough to have a conversation with me. In the future, you can have a conversation with me." Hinata cannot trade directly with him like Hinata, but that doesn't mean he can't give or take directly with his own hands, it's just a bit troublesome. As the leader of the Hinata clan, apart from the purity of the white eye, which means the upper limit is not as good as Hinata, he can lead many other aspects. Shining light. Hinata thought of the light emanating from the deities in the Wanxiang shrine and exclaimed with joy, Lord Sun God, I wonder what your son Hinata wants to do. Give all the white eyes collected by the Hinata clan over the years to Hinata as offerings. Jiang left the door and saw the mountain. The white eyes of the members of the Hinata clan who were separated will be destroyed by the cage birds after their death, but the white eyes of the members of the clan have definitely survived for thousands of years. White eyes. Hinata hesitated for a moment. This is the accumulation of the Hinata clan for thousands of years, passed down from generation to generation by clan leaders. But considering Jiang Li's identity, he made a sudden decision to agree. Yes, Your Highness. Hinata returned home and unleashed the spirit beast, summoning the spirit beast that had signed a contract with Hinata's clan, White Tiger. The reason why Hinata believe in the existence of the sun god is because of their spiritual beasts. Over the years, they have also been saying that they are not qualified to ask for its help, saying that birds in cages are stupid operations. Lord Baihu, I want all the white eyes that our clan has entrusted to you for protection, said Hinata. Taking a nap, the white tiger opened its eyes, with a puzzled expression in its eyes. You said you want all your white eyes. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Who is the sun god, the husband of the moon goddess? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yes, everything. Hinata nodded solemnly. What do you want these white eyes for? White Tiger slowly stood up, his mini body suddenly expanding to a height of 1 zhang, and his tiger eyes were fixed on Hinata. Its appearance is very similar to that of the Hinata clan in a white-eyed state. White Tiger, can't we? Hinata asked in response. If your reasons cannot convince me, no, Baihu nodded. He was entrusted by Otokuni village to take care of the Hinata tribe, otherwise this tribe would not be qualified to sign a contract with it, and creating a cage bird that willingly falls would be even worse. The white eyes left by the Hinata clan after their death are entrusted to it for protection, which is a command left by Otokuni village and has been followed by the Hinata clan for generations, even if these descendants do not know the reason for doing so now. If someone's eye is taken away and needs to be replaced, White Tiger will agree to give it. If all eyes are blank, it must know the reason. Do Lord White Tiger know Lord Sun God? Hinata asked again. Sun God. Who is this? White Tiger was a bit confused. If you ask the goddess Mao Yu, she knows a little. Who is the sun god? Is the husband of the goddess Mao Yu? You don't know. Hinata frowned in confusion. The history of the contract signed between the White Tiger and the Hinata tribe is extremely long, so it is reasonable to say that they are not unaware of the existence of the sun god. Jiang Li, who witnessed everything, said, There were rumors that the spiritual beasts of the Hinata clan were tigers or lions, but he didn't expect it to be a white tiger. And this white tiger seems to be the only individual, just like the slug immortal, but with countless clones. If it's really an antique, then you must know about the situation of Otokuni Kaguya. Isn't his lie about to be exposed? No, why can't this be an opportunity to make a lie come true? Jiang Li's gaze flickered, and he opened the observation box to transmit sound in one direction. He sounded beside Hinata and Hinata, White Tiger, do you know Toad Maru, Slug, and White Scale Snake? The sudden figure stunned White Tiger, and the word Wang on its eyebrows emitted a burst of light. The magical chakra spread around, but it didn't perceive anything. Who are you? Asked Baihu. I am the sun god, Jiang Li replied. Why didn't I know there was someone like you, this immortal? White Tiger asked back, his eyes shining strangely. Tiger-eyed, with a perspective and insight effect similar to that of a white eye. But still, nothing was discovered. You don't know me, do you know the goddess Mao Yu? Jiang Li asked. Who is that? Baihu asked in confusion. Why pretend not to know? Jiang Li's eyes flashed with a smile. Yui and Yutsuan Seal are all witnesses. As soon as this statement is made, Baihu believes that Jiang Li is a god, and is very likely to come from the same place as the Tong Mu Huiyi, but he does not know his position. And can completely make oneself unaware, the means may be very extraordinary. After a moment of contemplation, it spoke up and said, What is your relationship with Otokuni Kaguya? Don't you already have an answer? Jiang Li pretended to be profound. Guess what it is, that's what it is. I can round it up. My understanding of the Big Barrelwood family has made me stand undefeated. Are you her man? Baihu guessed. Jiang Li. Jiang Li, dot. Isn't that adding 3 more sons at once? 2 are created by Huiyi using the divine tree chakra combined with human blessings, and the other is a creation of yin-yang escape technique. Not bad, you're very smart, Jiang Li admitted. Oh, that's right. Baihu Xiaojiao unconsciously flicked her tail and said, Back then, when Huiyi came, I saw someone else by her side with my own eyes. Huiyi was led by that person, but for some unknown reason, Huiyi secretly attacked that person. These toad balls don't know, that person is you, right? No, that person is not me, it's a big wooden version. That's right, Jiang Li said sorrowfully. We planted the divine tree and had disagreements about the purpose of the fruit. So she took action against me and sealed me, just like our child did to her. It was really a case of getting back and forth. However, the reason why Yui would do this was because there was Toad Maru misleading behind the scenes. I will go and demolish the Pure Land, beat him up, and forget about it. The fruit of the divine tree, the toad pill misleads, and the Pure Land big tube wooden feather coat. Jiang Li was able to tell such a detailed story, it seems that it is undoubtedly the Huiyi man he saw back then. So, the Hinata clan can also be considered your descendants, said White Tiger. All blood lineages in the ninja realm are considered, but the Hinata clan is the most direct lineage, and so are those on the moon, said Jiang Li. As soon as he said this, White Tiger no longer had any doubts. This sun god is the ancestor of the Hinata clan, the man of Otokuni Kaguya, and the father of Yuki and Yumura. In that case, it is entirely reasonable for him to demand that the white eyes be ignored, and the Hinata clan should also abide by the orders. As for whether the sun god will destroy the world, there is naturally Toad Maru guiding the son of fate to worry. It's the White Tiger who is too lazy to care about these things. I, the immortal, will go back first. If you use the spirit beast in a minute, your white eyes will naturally return. White Tiger said to Hinata and then released the spirit beast state. Bang! The White Tiger disappeared without a trace. Jiang Li, dot. Is it so easy to deceive? Hinata foot. Dot. I heard too much today, such as the bright night of the Big Barrel Wood, the planting of divine trees, the sealing, and so on. But none of these are important, as long as he is certain that the Hinata clan is a descendant of the sun god. Hinata respectfully waited, and 1 minute later he cast his teleportation spell, which added an extra scroll to his hand. He took the scroll to the Wanxiang Heavenly Palace and handed it to the witch Hinata. Jiang Li spoke up at the right time and said, Hinata, take Hinata Higashi and the scroll to the 2nd floor. Hinata immediately followed suit, and the father and daughter arrived on the 2nd floor, then Hinata opened the scroll. The appearance of hundreds of pure white eyes placed in test tubes is a millennium accumulation of the Hinata clan. Hinata, sacrifice these white eyes to me. Jiang Li's eyes became fiery. He can trade with the observed object in various ways, such as equivalent exchange, sacrifice by the observed, and gift-giving. Yes, Your Highness. Hinata knelt down in front of hundreds of white eyes and respectfully said, "The sun god is above, and your servant Hinata is offering you XX pairs of white eyes." Jiang Li immediately received a prompt from the observation box, indicating that the observation object had traded hundreds of pairs of white eyes to him. He can freely choose the method of collection, which can be physical or equipment, and can also be integrated with the same type. Fusion. Jiang Li will take immediate action. Strange forces of the same lineage and origin flooded into his eyes, and he could feel the changes in his white eyes. 1 pair, 2 pairs, 3 pairs. When he merged into the 19th pair, a memory suddenly appeared in his brain. Pupil surgery, virtualization. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Hinata White Eyes Pupil Surgery, First Meeting with Wanda. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Phantom. I didn't expect to awaken this pupil technique. Is it because of the desire for spatial ability in the heart, similar to the portrayal of the mind when the Sharingan is opened in a kaleidoscope? After absorbing the extra memories in his mind, Jiang Li felt very satisfied. There are many ninjutsu techniques in the time and space of the Hokage world, focusing on the teleportation technique of the Flying Thunder God, the divine power of Uchiha with the earth, Uchiha Sasuke's heavenly hand power, Huangquan Bilyang Sokka in the Blood Inheritance Network, and the Sharingan of reincarnation to open the heavenly palace. Pupil technique, also known as phantom, is a type of white-eye pupillary technique that involves using a large cylinder of wood and gold to move oneself or other objects back and forth between real space and another space. When moving, one can also inhale oneself or objects into another space before releasing them to the target location. As long as these eyes are used to mark the space, he can also achieve a teleportation-like effect. In addition, this can also be suitable for combat, stealth, breaking the ban, invasion, and so on. My dilated pupil surgery seems to be stronger than the gold style. Jiang Li arrived at the restroom, closed the door, opened his white eyes, and noticed a slight abnormality. The virtualization of the Otoku style can open up a different space connected to the real world, or enter someone else's exclusive different space, such as the different space of Otokuni Kaguya. And what sets him apart from the Deikyo style is that he also has his own exclusive space, in which time is stationary, there is no air, and only dead objects can be stored. Jiang Li stored a piece of paper in his exclusive space, then took it out and had a great time playing. If there were no space markers, if I entered a different space now and waited for a few minutes before coming out, wouldn't I appear out of thin air at an altitude of 10,000 meters? Jiang Li has no desire to try, he doesn't want to fall to death. Well, suddenly craving the ability to fly. Dear passengers, Italy XXX. The captain's announcement suddenly sounded inside the plane, causing Jiang Li to be slightly stunned. He took a direct special plane, which takes 8 hours from New York to Italy. The fusion of 19 pairs of white eyes has passed so long without realizing it. He left the bathroom, returned to his position, lowered his head and pondered. White eyes are good white eyes, and pupillary surgery is good pupillary surgery. However, the Otokuni clan is not only strong in white eyes, but also has a strong and indestructible physical body, and its physical strength is just like that of Hinata. When opening the white eye, there is no sensation, and even due to the increase in purity, there is a feeling of being more comfortable to use. The ability to see far, see through, and perceive has been improved, and the spiritual energy has been increased. After using the procedure to dilate his pupils, he still had a good mental state, but his body felt hollowed out. If your physical condition is not good, merging with white eyes may be too much. Don't become the second Kakashi. It's best to have the physique of the Otokuni clan. If not, the physique of the Otokuni people is also good. They can bear the reincarnation eye and be enough for me to spend money. However, none of these can be completed in a short period of time, and improving one's physical fitness requires other methods. Jiang Li thought of the cells between the thousand-handed pillars, and there should be quite a few on Orochimaru's hand, so a bit of fusion is also good. In fact, Marvel World also has good options, such as Super Soldier Serum and Perfect Level Endangered Virus, but the timing is not right now. Take your time. Pressing his thoughts, Jiang Li opened the observation box again and found Hinata. At this moment, she is kneeling and praying on the second floor of the Wanxiang Heavenly Palace. Hinata, sacrifice for meritorious deeds, receive rewards. Jiang Li's voice rang in Hinata's ear. Hinata's spirit shook and he obediently and respectfully said, "Thank you, Lord God. Your servant is willing to dedicate everything." The next moment, Hinata felt a force in her eyes and began to transform them, feeling very comfortable and making her consciousness drift. This force was intermittent, sometimes high and sometimes low. About 19 times later, a memory suddenly appeared in her mind. Pupil surgery, unblock. The curse seal belongs to Yin Dun and is a use of spiritual power. It can be unsealed through the use of the white eye pupil technique. As long as the amount of Yin Dun chakra is sufficient, theoretically all seals can be lifted. Ah! After absorbing this memory, Hinata showed a surprised expression. The sun god bestowed upon her the ability to lift the curse of the bird in the cage, as well as to increase her spiritual energy, so that she could unlock the bird in the cage for her tribe. Undoubtedly, he is a deity. Thank you, Lord Sun God. Hinata respectfully expressed his gratitude and suddenly felt a vibration coming from ahead. She opened her eyes and found a bowl of rice half her height, filled with a lot of meat. Bang! Hinata's face blushed inexplicably. The deity knows that I am the king of stomach and there is a hint of spoiling me. What should I do? Online waiting, quite urgent. Unlocking, good pupil surgery. Jiang Li, who has been resting all night, is having breakfast in a hotel self-service restaurant. His physique and purity of white eyes are synchronized with that of Hinata, as he expected. The latter also had his first exclusive pupil surgery after fusing 19 pairs of white eyes in just over 7 hours. And as he guessed, the exclusive pupil technique for Bai Yen is also related to his inner desire, and what Hinata needs most is to not separate, so that the bird's curse imprint in the cage disappears. This technique is simply the nemesis of Orochimaru. Jiang Li's face lit up with a joyful smile. Hinata is really his lucky star, he must charge towards death in the future. New pupil surgery, find someone to experiment with. Jiang Li threw away the tableware and returned to the hotel room, closing the door and opening the observation box. Without hesitation, he directly approached Ning Xi, who had just submitted his withdrawal application to Metki. Rixiang Ningxi. Jiang Li spoke, his voice ancient and melodious, grand and mysterious. Lord Sun God. Hinata Ningji trembled all over and immediately knelt down in the direction of the Wanxiang Heavenly Palace. Metki. Shaoli, who was about to cry. Just about to persuade Tian. I feel your piety, and I grant you the release of the bird in the cage. Jiang Li brought his perspective closer and pressed Ning Xi's forehead against the wall of the observation box, his eyes fixed. The powerful Yin Dun chakra transmitted to Ning Xi's forehead, destroying the bird imprint in the cage, releasing some of the sealed souls and Yin Dun power, as well as the power of the white eyes. Ning Xi keenly felt a change in her white eyes and immediately took off her forehead protector to act as a mirror. Seeing the smooth forehead, tears welled up in his eyes. Fate has really changed. Thank you, Sun God. Your servant will be loyal for a lifetime. Ning Xi kowtowed devoutly. Jiang Li nodded satisfied and said, You don't need to leave the team. I see your future. Your teacher and 2 companions are very good, and they are qualified to believe in me in the future. The real man who almost kicked out the big finale has the value of seduction. Yes, Lord Sun God. Ning Xi immediately stood up, snatched the application from Maite Kai's hand, tore it up, and said, Teacher Kai, I won't leave the team anymore. We will still be partners in the future. Kai Sanren. Jiang Li did not speak to Ning Xi again, but instead passed on the message to Hinata. The pupil technique has been unblocked, and can only be used once a day. Pay attention to the proper balance. With Hinata's current physical strength, this type of pupil surgery is indeed less needed. After giving instructions, Jiang Li put away the observation box and took out his phone to call a private detective. Are you still watching now? I will call you immediately for the compensation, give me the address. Okay. A phone call asked the bank to complete the transfer, and Jiang Li changed into clothes and went to the top floor of the hotel. He boarded the pre-booked helicopter and flew directly to the capital of the neighboring small Eastern European country of Sokovia, Novigrad. Taking a glance at the address on his phone, he rented an off-road vehicle from the U.S. military and arrived at a slum rebuilt in ruins. Ignoring many hungry wolf-like gazes around him, he quickly arrived at a dilapidated apartment and walked straight into it. Reading. Reading is useless. This incompetent government dare not resist the U.S. military. I might as well go on a parade and show more people around the world. Arriving at the doorstep of a household, Jiang Li heard the excited voice of a woman. With a slight eyebrow raised, he lifted his foot and kicked the door open. The two sisters who were quarreling in the door were shocked and looked at the door together. Jiang Li walked in with a smile on his face and sat down on the sofa. He smiled and said, Wanda, Petro. Nice to meet you all. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.